Hey, welcome back to California Cooking, and happy 2019. We have a great show lined up for you today. This month, it's all about the NFL playoffs. So, coming up, I have a great game day dish, Greek nachos. Then I'm taking you to one of my favorite restaurants in all of Los Angeles. It has great Asian fusion food. And he's in a truck making bagel sandwiches, and they are delicious. I introduce you to the guy behind Yeasty Boys Bagels. First up, it's the beginning of the year, and you know we're all trying to be a little bit healthier, but it's also football season, which means if you're hanging out on the couch, you want something yummy to snack on, and I think I've come up with just the right thing. It's Greek nachos, and they're a little bit healthier than your traditional nachos. Take a look.
I love nachos, and I was thinking, what's a way to kind of come up with something where it's a little bit healthier and it has more veggies and different ingredients? And then I saw a recipe for Greek nachos, and I thought, okay, I can get down with Greek nachos. And it's one of those recipes that you would, on a Saturday afternoon when you're kind of looking through the fridge going, what can I make that's quick and easy? I think, yes, Greek nachos. So for Greek nachos, I'm gonna do a little ground lamb. And ground lamb is one of those ingredients that I just started getting into. If you like the taste of lamb, you're gonna be into this recipe. If you don't, I would even try it where you mix it with beef and with lamb. Cut it with beef so it's not as strong of a flavor, but that's what I'm gonna use today, and that really gives it that Greek flavor when you incorporate the lamb, and you would treat it just like you would ground beef. So it's pretty versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and brown that up with some veggies, put it on top of pita chips, make a little tzatziki sauce, and that's how we're gonna do it. So let me start with the veggies. And I like to brown my veggies before my meat, because a lot of times if I brown the meat with the veggies, the meat doesn't brown, it just steams, and that's because there's a lot of water in veggies. So I'm gonna do the vegetables first, and then I'll brown the meat. And it's an extra step, but it doesn't take that much longer. Cut up some green pepper. You dice it pretty small because you want the chunks to be able to fit on a nacho. Then from the green pepper, do a little onion. Got our onion. Now I'm gonna go bring these to the pan behind me. All right. Garlic is so important, I think, to Greek food. And I add the garlic a little bit later, because if you add the garlic in the beginning with the rest of the veggies, it'll burn. So I wait just until things have cooked a little bit, and then I add it. Now I'm gonna add the garlic, 2 cloves. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the veggies out. Okay, time for the lamb. Let's get it in. And you just break it up. Add a little salt, pepper, and then another thing I want to add, which I really think is very Greek, obviously, oregano. So a good amount of oregano. Time to top the nachos. So our lamb is cooked, and I got pita chips, plain. They're not even salted, which I think is better, because if you got salted pita chips and then all the toppings we put on it, I think it actually make it too salty. So plain pita chips, you could even cut up your own pita bread and toast them in the oven first and do it that way if you want. It's up to you. Okay. Man overboard. And we try to just get as much of it across the nachos. You don't want to waste any of the goodness, the onions, the peppers, the garlic, the pine nuts, and it smells so good. I'm gonna spread it out, because nothing's more annoying than the nacho that doesn't have any toppings on it. You know what I mean? The ones on the edge that don't get the love. Spread it around, and now to the cheese. For melting purposes, this is a Mexican style 4-cheese blend. Whatever you'd like, but something melty, because you want them to have the mouthfeel of a nacho, which always has the melted cheddar or jack. I'm gonna put that on top. And then when they come out of the oven, I'm gonna top it with feta, so even more cheese. Now you put them in the oven under the broiler just until the cheese melts, and then we're gonna top it with our veggies. One of my favorite Greek condiments is tzatziki. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, I think I am. It's so delicious because, of course, it has a base of my favorite things, which would be sour cream and Greek yogurt. And together with some cucumber, it is the best condiment. I'm gonna put it on top of the Greek nachos. But really, tzatziki, you can serve with chicken, fish. It's always in the, pita sandwiches that you get, the gyros and all that. So the grating of the cucumber is the most time-consuming thing with tzatziki. There's your cucumber. I'm gonna show you just how much water comes out of this. I put it on some paper towel or a towel, whatever, and then you wrap it up. Look at this. All of the water. All of that would make your sauce watery. And now, your base, look at that, of tzatziki. The cucumber is dry, and that'll give you a delicious sauce. Get our bowl, and we'll add the Greek yogurt, full fat, for sour cream, a good dollop. You stir that around, and then a few other things go into tzatziki. Tzatziki needs a lot of garlic. It's a very garlicky condiment. So I grate. So it's not too raw, the taste of garlic. If you were to chop it, you get those big chunks, which is fine. I mean, if you really love garlic. I like it when it's a little bit more delicate and not those big chunks of garlic. So when you grate it, it just kind of melds into the sauce a little nicer. Some salt, a good amount of salt because the sour cream and the Greek yogurt doesn't have any salt. A good amount of lemon. I like my tzatziki to be really nice and bright and lemony. I probably would add the whole lemon. Now you give it a stir, and then this is where you really check the seasonings and say, oh, needs a little more garlic, needs a little more salt. Time to check out our Greek nachos. Woohoo! I get excited when I see melted cheese. Anybody else? To top our nachos, I'm gonna start with the spinach. See, now it's healthy. You've got some spinach on top. And then chopped tomatoes. And we get it to every corner because you want all the nachos to have the same toppings. Some of the Kalamata olives. They're so salty and briny and delish. And then I think a nice Mediterranean nod to, these Greek nachos is some marinated artichoke hearts. And remember, in the lamb, we have pine nuts, we have garlic, we have green pepper, we have onion, we have oregano. So the lamb has a ton of flavor already. Oh, and then more cheese. We're gonna do some feta. Feta is so salty and yummy that you don't want too much, and that's why I didn't use it as my melting cheese, because it doesn't melt the way a cheddar or a jack would. And like you would nachos, you would have your sour cream on top. Let's do a little tzatziki on top. What do you say? You could serve them off the tray. I think it'd be nice if I could transfer onto this. And I'll just keep it on that's why I love using parchment paper, because parchment you can serve off of. It doesn't look too bad, so I'm gonna try to do the transfer. Okay, wish me luck. I just lost one artichoke, not bad. Ta-da! Greek nachos. It's all of your favorite Greek flavors, but made into nachos. Try it.
Those Greek nachos are amazing. There is nothing better to me than a toasted sesame seed bagel with a smear of cream cheese and lox. I'm introducing you to the guy behind Yeasty Boys Bagels. Plus, does Levi like it? I'm making him a yummy orzo pasta dish, but does he like it? But first, I'm taking you to one of my favorite neighborhood restaurants, and they are serving up Asian fusion cuisine. It's delicious. On to one of my favorite restaurants in all of Los Angeles. It's called EP&LP. It's in walking distance from my house, and I happen to love it, not only because it has a spectacular view, but because of head chef Louis Tickerum. I can't wait for you to meet him and see what he cooks up for us. Take a look.
It's a bold statement, but I'm gonna say it. EP&LP is my favorite restaurant in LA.
Yay!
And that's in large part, because head chef Louis Tickerum is, I think your flavors and your food is genius. It's beautiful.
It's definitely me telling my story of my upbringing, cooking with my grandmother, and where I've worked and where I love to travel. And I have a saying, if it's tasty, it goes on the menu. Being from Fiji and Australia, and in Australia we're so close to Southeast Asia as well. I compare it to Angelino's, that it's pretty much like Mexican cuisine here.
Yeah.
Every street corner there'll be either Vietnamese or Thai or Cambodian or Indonesian in Sydney, where I started cooking. And
Right.
that's really what I bring to LA.
You've managed to pull off a place that not only has the most gorgeous rooftop bar and it's very hip and happening, but then you come downstairs for a meal and you knock it out of the park.
Well, my passion, I just love cooking and I love what I do, and I feel kind of almost very selfish that I come to work every day. Oh, what are we going to do, guys? I had this dish, I saw this salmon at the market, I went to the produce, and
Yeah.
I just feel very fortunate that we can do that and then put all that passion onto the plate and serve it to customers that really appreciate it.
EP&LP has something to do with the records behind me.
That's right.
Yeah?
So it is extended play and long play, relating back to the old vinyl records, and that was between myself and the owners, we all have a very strong connection to music.
Yeah.
And then
they're all Australian, by the way. Yeah.
and then moving to West Hollywood and LA, I feel like we needed to have a homage to the history that's been.
Yeah.
So it became EP&LP was born, and 3 years later.
Here we go.
we're
Still my
here.
favorite. And let's go cook.
Okay.
What do you say?
Your favorite dishes?
Chef Louis, I had this a few weeks ago and I loved it. It's simple, but it's very light.
It's got great texture. It's got a good amount of spice, but it just combines the meal really well. So I've got some New Zealand whitefish, and I'm going to tell you all my secrets today.
Oh boy.
I'm going to put a little bit of fish sauce. So the fish sauce, what the fish sauce will do, it'll season the dish, but it will also help the flour stick to the fish. I'm going to add it, and this is actually a gluten-free crust we make.
Okay.
So it's potato starch, rice starch, corn starch. Yeah, so it's
Well,
really
it was
great.
so light.
Yes,
I don't even
exactly.
want to call it batter because
No,
it wasn't. It was
not at
just
all.
such a light,
Yeah.
crispy fish.
And then we're just going to add this to the basket. So you can do this at home. It doesn't need to be a big deep fry. You can really shallow fry it in a pan.
And what kind of fish? New Zealand?
So it's actually a fish called hoki. And it's really, I think, in my opinion, it's the best fish and chip fish ever. And then we'll just gently let that fry. So the fish has been frying for a few minutes, and you can see it's starting to turn golden brown. Does that bring you back memories?
Okay, fish is served.
All right, here we go. And we're going to season it, first of all, with a little bit of Szechuan. So this is kind of this 5 spice. This is Szechuan, cloves. This gives it a nice bite and also really interesting mouthfeel.
Yeah.
And then here we've got actually a Japanese spice as well called togarashi, which is lots of chili peppers, sesame seeds. It's even got some hemp seeds in there. And it's such a great color as well. So it
It's
just brings
really-
such a lively.
It kind of reminds me of the color of what we would have in Old Bay seasoning.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And
But-
that's kind of how I think people
yeah.
relate to it as well.
Yeah.
So then here we go onto the dish.
Do you ever get tired of eating your own food?
Actually, I crave it. And that's how I really, perfect the dish. I think, is this a dish that I would just love to eat? Yeah. This one's so super simple, and it just goes on the menu. Lots of lime on there.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, it's just awesome. In a shared meal, it's got everything you want. It's got a bit of spice, a bit of texture, a bit of flavor, the lime, the acidity.
All right. Real hot, but good. Okay, Chef Louis, what's next?
Our top seller, 5 spice sticky spare ribs.
My personal favorite. Here's the thing. You've managed to take these little spare ribs and turn them into pork candy. They taste like candied ribs.
Absolutely, yeah. Some of the menu items have been on from day one, and I think if they ever came off, there'd
There
be a
would be
riot.
outrage.
I know. I'm scared. I'm scared of the
So
day.
tell us how you do it.
So basically, we braise the pork in a master stock. So lots of soy, ginger,
And
star
just cook it
anise,
way down.
and we cook it all the way down.
Okay.
And then from that liquid, we make a really beautiful caramel with palm sugar.
So the flavors in the caramel are the star anise and the...
Star anise and cassia bark, which is like a cinnamon.
Wow.
Yes.
Hence the candy kind of
Exactly.
flavor, yeah.
And then we have some fried garlic and echalot for texture, some pickled serranos, just to cut through that richness.
Which are pretty spicy, right?
They're kind of, yeah, they got a good heat on them. And then we've got some toasted rice to add a depth and nuttiness, and then some fresh cilantro
That's
on
what
top.
you coat it in.
I'm giving
right?
you all my
Oh my
secrets.
gosh.
I'm giving you all my secrets.
That's what it is, okay.
They've been braised, and then we crisp fry them to order, and then we just toss them with all the ingredients.
Okay, let's do it.
In there goes crispy garlic and shallot. Our
Look, that's why they're so good.
That's ridiculous.
palm sugar caramel of all the cooking liquid of that pork.
When you watch people's faces in the restaurant that have never had that
Oh, this
before,
is a good
what
one.
what
This is
face
a
do
good
they
one.
make?
Especially when it comes to the table and they're like, and then they'll get it with the
Like,
chopsticks
maybe I'll
and
try one.
maybe, and then. From here we just get it all beautifully coated, and then we start to assemble.
This is one of those craveable dishes for you.
This is definitely one of those ones. And then we've got the pickled serranos. So these are there to cut all that richness. And then we actually add a lot of the vinegar as well. And that's kind of what this style of food is, all about balance. If you put something very sweet, then you got to put something very acidic. From there, we just add some toasted rice. And I love cilantro and everything. What do you need? Fork, spoon, chopsticks?
I think fingers, is that?
That's how I was brought
okay?
up. That's how I was brought up.
All right, here we go.
It's the ultimate compliment for a chef.
This little candied nugget.
When you ask me what was the face of the customers who eat that dish,
It's almost not right to do candied little spare ribs.
oh yeah.
So I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna say goodbye to Chef.
Bye. Good to see you.
I will be back probably next week.
Of course.
Yeah.
I know. I have your seat saved. Don't worry.
I adore Chef Louis. He really is the best. And not only does he make delicious savory food, but his desserts are out of this world. And if you want to find out more about them, go to ktla.com/cooking. Coming up, I get to try the most delicious bagel sandwiches from the Yeasty Boys Bagel Truck. Plus, does Levi like it? I make for him an orzo pasta dish perfect for a weeknight. But does he like it? One of my favorite things to have when I go out for breakfast is a toasted sesame seed bagel with cream cheese and lox. And so when I saw the Yeasty Boys food truck around town, I thought, who's the genius behind this? And you know what? I found him. He was in the Arts District. Evan Fox. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
You are the man behind Yeasty Boys, and many go, wait, I didn't know Evan Fox was in Beastie Boys. No, Yeasty with a Y.
Yeasty with a Y.
You're so clever.
Thank you. You know, what can I say?
What initially gave you the idea to start a bagel truck?
Moved here from New York, and I was like, yo, like, why aren't there any, like, good bagel spots around here? The crowd is here, you know? And I felt like bagels is such a funny thing that for me it just fits so well. Like, I don't know, it's my way of connecting, I think.
Yeah.
Bagels.
You're so smart because you launched this food truck 3 years ago at Coachella.
That month we had a booth there, which was insane. And we knew we kind of wanted to do a truck, but I think that after Coachella was like, now's the time.
Have you heard from the Beastie Boys?
Actually, yes.
No.
Yes, I did. On Christmas, Adam Horovitz, Ad Rock, hit me up and he's like, yo, emailed me. He's like, hey, can I get some bagels? We're here for Christmas. You owe me a dozen. And I'm like, amazing.
No, what'd you do?
I delivered to his place and met his family, and he was so nice.
Should we get in the truck and see where the magic happens?
100%.
Okay.
So this is the Chetty Wok. Comes with a fried egg, Tillamook sharp cheddar, and bacon. This is the Lox Deluxe. This is your standard onion, caper, tomato, smoked salmon, nice light coat of
favorite.
cream cheese on it.
Sesame bagel.
It's it, yeah.
The Reuben is my favorite sandwich.
So, I was like, how can we get this like to be a legit Reuben? And I was like, you know what? Let's flip the bagel upside down and use the bottom of the bagel to just like get it saturated.
Do we taste?
Oh, please.
Okay. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the meat.
It's
Goodness.
ugly drum pastrami. So this is an item that we have called a Cheddar Wop. It's your bacon, egg, cheese staple, you know
You know
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
like? You've done this a million times, and even you were happy to see it when it.
When
you cut it.
That really gets me going.
First of all, what you're doing when you come up with the names and the recipes.
I don't even know. It's like anytime, all the time. That's
Really, for breakfast?
yeah.
It hits every
That's
every
it.
note.
That's it.
Now, to the lox and bagel. Well, if we must.
It's insane, right?
So good.
Feeling good.
Cheers, Evan.
Cheers.
So much fun.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
Love having you anytime.
All right. Those bagel sandwiches, I kid you not, were so delicious. And Evan, what a fun guy and so passionate about bagels. Okay, on to, does Levi like it? I made him an orzo pasta dish, but does he like it? Levi, do you want to try some orzo pasta with broccoli, tomatoes, olive oil, parmesan?
Yes.
Okay.
Nom nom.
How is it?
Nom nom.
You like it? How come? What do you like about it?
I like pasta too. I like little pasta.
Little pastas, like orzo. Cool. Yay, we're starting the year off right. And if you'd like to know how to make that orzo pasta dish, go to ktla.com/cooking. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.